म्यूजियम टिकट और do we have tickets? Yeah. Honey, म्यूजियम पूछो टिकट से म्यूजियम कर दो.
Early in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, the fireman comes along and he has to check that there's enough water in the boiler. He doesn't fill it right to the top, it has to be full to about here, because when he boils the water and it makes steam, the steam is in the top, okay? So he checks that there's enough water by looking at the glass here. Now if the train's, although it's going along level, if it goes downhill slightly, then that water level comes down. If the train goes uphill slightly, that goes up. So the fireman has to check that there's enough water in the boiler. He then gets the coal out of the coal bunker and puts it in there. That's where the fire is. So then he lights it, and it takes a few hours to boil the water. It's just like a kettle of water making a cup of coffee at home, but there's an awful lot more water. So anyway, then obviously as the water boils, it puts more pressure in the boiler. And there's a little glass down here that tells the driver how much pressure there is. So the driver will sit on this seat when everything's ready. He sits at this seat, and the fireman sits on the other one. He can look through the back of the window to see that the train is all okay. He can look forward. The fireman on that side also tells the driver if he can see any signals, and he checks that side. When the pressure is up enough for the train to go, they take the brake off, and then this is the accelerator. As he presses that one up, it pulls this one down, and it opens the valve in there. Now the steam that's at the top of the boiler goes along the pipe, it's into the steam, comes down, goes through the boiling water again to superheat it, and then it goes down to the pistons, and it pushes the piston. There's two pistons, one on one side. When the steam goes into the left hand side, it goes forward, and the other one comes back. So it's always going like that, and that's how they make it go. The more he presses on this handle, the faster the steam goes through and the faster the wheels turn. You may have seen on old films, if the driver lets too much steam through too quickly, the wheels spin and the train doesn't go. So that's what there's done. So you have to let it just a little bit through, and it's the same as the engine that we've got running today, and that's basically how it works. But as I say, it takes an awful long time to heat the water. Also, what they used to do, because they used to have to start work, shall we say, 4 o'clock in the morning, one of the things that the old engine drivers used to do, they used to bring along with them maybe a couple of eggs, maybe some bits of bacon, a sausage, and they would put it on their shovel. And they would put it in where the fire is, and they would cook their own breakfast. If they wanted a cup of tea, they got boiling water.
Yeah.
So that's how they used to make the tea as they were going along. Now, when an engine is stationary, even today, the engine, everything's all right. Everybody's happy when it's stationary. When everybody's on the train, the people on the platform, the porters, have to check that all the carriages are shut correctly, and they check that the door handles are like that. When they've checked that they're all okay, they've got one of the porters who signals with blowing his whistle. He blows his whistle once to tell the guard, yes, my people have checked it. So when the guard's happy, he blows his whistle twice. And when the engine driver hears the whistle twice, he starts the engine going. But before he starts it, he blows his whistle once to let people know the train is about to move. Because when the train's stationary, nobody takes any notice. But as soon as it moves, sometimes it's that quiet, and if the wind is going in the wrong direction, you can't hear it. So that's another reason why they blow the whistle. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, if we go down the bottom, I'll just show you one more thing, if you let us go.
Yes,
Steam doing just there, so that's where the majority of the steam is. When the driver presses the lever, the steam comes down and it goes into the piston. This is the cylinder, that is the piston. So it pushes it like that. As this one goes out, the one on the other side comes in. So it's pushing like that. It pushes on this bar here to the middle wheel, and the middle wheels are connected to the other two, so that you've got 6 driving wheels altogether, 3 on each side. But as this comes forward once, the middle wheel turns round once. Now, as you can see, the middle wheel is about 6 foot in diameter. So when the train goes along, just one takes the train along at approximately 20 yards. Yeah? So the faster it goes, the faster the train goes. That's why you've got to be big wheels. When they're talking about trains and engines, they give them, I call them, funny numbers. They might say 462 or 060, and people think, what does that mean? The first number is the number of guiding wheels it's got at the front. So 2 this side, 2 the other, so this is a 4.